everyone. Very good afternoon. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. My name is Alpa Sharma and I hope everything's clearly audible and visible to you. Very good afternoon. So it's a beautiful day today and the beginning of another week. And since almost all the BB entrance examinations are over, it's now time to start preparing for the 2023 examinations. And I'm sure there are going to be many doubts in your mind about if you're preparing for 2023 examinations regarding BBA, about what all exams you need to prepare for, what are exams you need to sit for, what is their pattern, how are they different from each other. So today's session is going to be focusing on major BBA entrance examinations if you're targeting 2023. Specifically after the commencement of the new CUET pattern, IPMAT has actually taken an exit and then we have CUET. So the pattern changes a little now onwards. So if you're targeting 2023, we are going to be talking about what all examinations you need to sit for and how you need to prepare for them. This is what the session focuses on. I hope everyone can hear and see me very clearly. Now guys, 2023, of course, it is the best time to start preparing because the sooner you start, the better it is for you. If you know the course, if you know the exam structure, you can hone yourself perfectly according to what is the demand of the examination. So, we are going to be talking about the CUET, the Common Central University Test. We're going to be talking about the IPMAT test, IPMAT. We're going to be talking about the NMIMS test for Narsee, Monjee, the Christ CUET, which is different from the Central University CUET examination, the SET examination and the GGS IPU. Initially, there was another examination that was conducted by the Delhi University, which has now been merged with the CUET. So we're not going to be talking about that examination now. So let's start off with the first examination, the most important, the most common examination, and that is CUET. Why do I call it the most important examination? I call it the most important one because the number of universities that take admission through CUET is massive. None of the other BBA entrance examinations that you see in the grid today gives you an opportunity to find a seat, so many seats in so many universities. And that's exactly why CUET, the Central University examination and not the Christ University CUET, this becomes one of the most important BBA entrance examination. So let's talk about the CUET. So this is a centralized examination where approximately 90 plus universities are a part of. They take admissions and give you seats to various programs, including the BBA program as well, through this examination. This was the very first year when CUET was conducted with so many colleges, so many universities, and with so many seats and with a new pattern that emerged this year where you could choose your language. So a new pattern emerged with CUET. If you at all are planning to sit for any of the BB entrance examinations, then this by far is the most important examination that you need to sit for. A few things we need to know about the CUET paper is one, it's going to be an online examination and it's conducted in various slots according to the bifurcation of the subjects. Whatever subject you select, accordingly your slot will be given to you. A morning and an afternoon slot is given and the first slot is roughly for 3 hours 15 minutes, the second for 3 hours 45 minutes, depending upon the subjects you have chosen, the combinations that you've chosen. Of course, the very different part about this examination that you can choose your language, but undoubtedly the maximum amount of people would be choosing English as their core language in the language section. So you have to write examinations in either of the slots or both of the slots depending upon the combination of the various list of subjects that you've chosen. I would not talk about what all subjects you can choose out of because I will be taking a separate session on CUET after this year's CUET is over so that we have more clarity about exactly what combinations are preferable for us and what aren't. So this is the basic idea of the CUET where 90 plus universities are a participant and you can get into your best of the colleges including Delhi University, which is going to take admission not through your 12th score or not through any other examination. It's going to be through CUET test. Now, let's talk about the second examination, and that's the IPMAT examination. Now, IPMAT basically has three examinations. One is for Indore, the other is JIPMAT, which is a joint examination, and then we have Rohtak as well. So let's discuss about the second most and the most valuable examination, because here you get an admission into an IIM. Unlike the other another examination that we spoke about, that was CUET, none of the IIMs take admission through that. Plus, remember, the CUET that you sit for will give you an admission only into a BBA program. So that's a 3-year BBA program. Whereas when you sit for any of the IPMAT or JIPMAT examinations, you get an admission into a 5-year integrated program for management. So it's a combination of BBA plus M.B.A degree. The BBA degree can be variable according to the IIM you land up in, because some of them give you financial management, like Indore does a BBA in that. The others give you a normal BBA degree. So Indore takes admission through your IPMAT examination. Okay, so it's a integrated programmation. The first 3 years you'll be studying your BBA, and the next 2 years you'll be studying your regular MBA. The pattern of this examination, although it sometimes is variable, but if you talk about the general trend that IPMAT follows for IIM Indore, not Rohtak, that's a separate pattern. It basically has 60 questions with 90 minutes, the recent pattern, whereas the older pattern was 100 questions in 120 minutes. That's a usual pattern. Next year, what pattern emerges completely depends on the notification that usually is out by January. So we shall wait for the notification, but that's a usual pattern. And then one thing that we need to note here is that we have 2 sections of mathematics that are usually asked here. One is an objective one and other is a subjective one, where you have to write a short answer type. And then the remaining questions are going to be verbal ability. So maximum number of questions, roughly 60% of the test, is dependent upon quantitative ability, whereas you have objective question and subjective ones as well, the short answer type, and the remaining ones are verbal ability questions, where reading comprehensions come, grammar comes, and you have vocabulary, you have sentence completion, you have parajumbles. These kind of questions come up in verbal ability in the IPMAT paper for Indore. Now let's have a look at the next examination, but before that, I hope you guys are able to understand the pattern for both these 2 examinations. Just send me a thumbs up very quickly so that I know you're live and you're watching me and you're able to understand that and you do not have any questions. Quickly send me a thumbs up so that I know you're able to grasp the nitty-gritties of the examinations. At any moment, if you have any question, feel free to send me the question then and there. I shall be answering that instantly. I'm waiting for your thumbs up, everyone, so that I know you're able to understand both the examinations clearly. So these are the 2 examinations that we focused on. One is the CUET, the most important examination the country has, and the second one is IPMAT Rohtak. Now let's talk about IPMAT Rohtak's examination. We did Indore and now we're going to be doing Rohtak examination. This, of course, also is a similar IPMAT examination, not in terms of its pattern, but in terms of the degree it gives you. IPMAT Rohtak also gives you an integrated program for management for 5 years. Here you have 3 years of regular BBA degree and then 2 years of regular MBA degree. MBA program, if I can call it, because it's not a degree, it's a diploma program. So this is exactly an integrated program for management, not only a BBA degree plus an IIM one as well. Here the regular usual pattern is 120 questions in 120 minutes, where you have 3 sections. This introduces LR. Unlike IIM Indore, where there were 2 sections of quantitative ability and 1 for verbal ability. Here you have 3 sections: quantitative ability, verbal ability, and logical reasoning. So these are the 3 sections you are going to be tested upon. And the level of difficulty of this examination is a notch easier than the IPMAT Indore examination, because IPMAT Indore focuses a lot on, yes, I get your thumbs up, Richa, thank you. It focuses a lot on quantitative ability, but here the LR is a very scoring topic. So you can score higher here comparatively to the IPMAT Indore pattern. And of course, IPMAT Indore and Rohtak, your score, your cumulative score here in the IPMAT examination is not the only criteria of selection. You need to sit for personal interviews as well for both Rohtak as well as Indore, so that you're able to get through this clearly. You need to score good in your personal interviews as well. It's a combination. Some 60-40, Rohtak gives lesser weightage to it. So it's a combination here. All right. Now that's about IPMAT Rohtak examination. Let's talk about the JIPMAT examination, which is a joint IPMAT examination. So joint IPMAT examination is a joint examination between IIM Jammu and IIM Bodh Gaya. So this is Bodh Gaya. And both these IIMs also provide you an IPM degree, that is Integrated Program of Management, for 5 years. Again, the similar one to Indore and Rohtak. So 3 years of your IPM is for a BBA degree and the next 2 years for a regular MBA program that you are provided with. Here, the pattern is a little similar to not Indore but Rohtak, because you have these 3 common sections that appear in the Rohtak examination IPMAT as well. You have quantitative ability, verbal ability and logical reasoning. You have all the 3 sections that are similar to IPMAT Rohtak's examination. And the difficulty level of this examination is also easier than the IPMAT examination. So JIPMAT is easier than Rohtak. Rohtak comparatively is easier than Indore. So you see the difficulty level of these examinations going down. So the most difficult of the IPM examinations is the Indore one, then comes Rohtak, and then comes the JIPMAT examination, where you get admissions into IIM Jammu and IIM Bodh Gaya. So these are the 2 important examinations, 3 rather, that you can sit for if you wish to get into a 5-year integrated program for management. Now, there are a couple of, one NLU. So NLUs are basically known for their law degrees, whereas there is one NLU that also provides a 5-year integrated program for management. But since it's a new course, I would not be talking about that today, because we are going to be talking about the most important examinations, and that rather is a new degree. So we'll not focus a lot on the IPM degree provided by one of the NLUs today. Let's focus on the next most important examination that we have, and that is going to be the Narsee Monjee's NPAT. NPAT is an examination that gives you admission into various campuses of Narsee Monjee Institute of Management Studies. Here, there are multiple campuses that you can get an admission into. It could be the Mumbai campus, it could be the Bangalore campus, it could be the Hyderabad, whatever campuses that they have. Various campuses are going to be a part of this examination, and your score, according to your score, you'll be given an admission into the best of the Narsee Monjee colleges. Of course, the best has to be the Mumbai college. So if you wish to pursue finance, economics, business management, many courses, all of these affiliated colleges of NMIMS give you admission through the NPAT examination. NPAT examination's usual structure is 120 questions in 100 minutes. And similar structure is followed like the JIPMAT and the IPMAT Rohtak paper. That is quantitative ability, verbal ability and logical reasoning. Now I'm sure there are a couple of questions that are there in your head. Ma'am, is my 12th score matter a lot? Most of these BBA entrance examinations give almost negligible weightage to your 12th score. Apart from a few IPMAT examinations, your scores are given weightage. But most of these colleges expect you to score a roughly 50 to 60% in your 12th boards, and if you're able to sail through that, you barely have to. And now see, Delhi University doesn't give any weightage now to your 12th score, unlike the last many years where the admission was given according to your 12th score. Now it's a CUET pattern. So your 12th score, apart from a few IPMAT examinations, none of these BBA examinations bother if you are scoring more than 60%. It doesn't matter. You just need to be able to justify your score in the interview if the question comes up. So that is one thing you need to focus on. So let's talk more about the NPAT examination. A bare minimum of 50-60% is roughly required in almost all the BBA entrance examinations, and same is the case with the NPAT examination. And you see a similar pattern in almost every examination. QA and VA is there in every examination, every BBA examination that you see. In fact, Indore is the only examination where LR isn't asked. Every other examination focuses on LR as well, logical reasoning as well. The pattern of logical reasoning questions may vary, but then I don't have to separately prepare for one examination. That is, if I start my BBA prep, I can simultaneously prepare for CUET, IPMAT, GIPMAT, NPAT, CUET for Christ University, Symbiosis Entrance Test. I can prepare simultaneously for all of them. So that's about the common link between all these entrance BBA examinations. This examination, one thing that you need to focus on is that the quantitative ability is a little more difficult here than verbal ability and LR. So, of course, most of the examinations like IPMAT and NPAT focuses a lot on quantitative ability questions. You need to practice mathematics, quantitative ability, just go up, whatever language that you use, you may commonly refer to it as your math section. This is where you need to focus a little bit more on compared to the various other sections. Let's talk about the next most important examination, and that is the Christ University CUET. So CUET is a common name actually that's used for the Common University Entrance Test and the Christ University Entrance Test. So do not be confused if I use the word CUET. Make sure you understand which college am I referring to here. So CUET here is referring to the Christ University various campuses, specifically the central campus in Bengaluru. And do you know, I'll tell you an interesting fact. Christ University's campus, Bangalore, the most important campus, shares a wall with our BYJU'S exam prep office in Bangalore. So we have the common wall, we share it with Christ University. That's an interesting fact that I wanted to tell you. So, CUET for Christ University is a common examination for various campuses of Christ University, the premier one, the Central University being the Bengaluru campus. You can pursue various courses, not only a generic BBA, but you can also pursue a graduate degree in finance or economics or management, and the admission through all of these programs will be given to you through the CUET Christ University Entrance Test. That's one common examination for all the campuses, almost all the programs you wish to get into related to BBA or management. The common pattern that is followed by CUET here is a roughly 120 questions in 120 minutes. And we have 5 sections here. So this is one examination that focuses on GK apart from the CUET. It focuses on your GK section. So you have current affairs, a little bit of static, you have quantitative ability, verbal ability, you have logical reasoning, and you have a bit of data interpretation as well. So a little different because it focuses on GK, but then trust me, if you are somebody who reads the newspapers regularly, preparing for the Christ University is not a difficult task. Rather, I want you to read the newspapers regularly because questions might come up in your interview for IPMAT on GK. So you need to be aware about what is happening around the world if you are preparing for any of the BBA entrance examinations, because interviews usually are important aspects there. Okay, and then there's an additional section of fundamental accounting which has roughly 10 questions. So you can call it 6 sections instead of 5 because this is an additional level of examination that's conducted. So basic fundamental, but this is a very easy one. Trust me, if your basic understanding of accountancy is good, this is not the entrance examination to CA. So basic understanding of fundamental accounting is asked. Even if you've had science in your 12th, don't worry, you will sail through this section because only basic terminologies are asked here. Now let's talk about the next important examination in BBA, and that is Symbiosis Entrance Test. Symbiosis, similar to the Narsee Monjee or the Christ University, this also is a university that has many campuses. So they have their Noida and Pune and Hyderabad, they have many campuses. And they also provide you many of the BBA degrees. Their central college, of course, being in Pune, the premium one. And then there are other branches that they've opened up in Noida, and then there's another one in Hyderabad. So all of these campuses would give you admission into their BBA program through the SET-BBA, that is Symbiosis Entrance Test BBA examination. You get a basic BBA degree here if you get through this examination and take an admission into Symbiosis colleges. Their pattern is roughly a set of 60 questions in 60 minutes, and this examination also focuses on GK. So you have verbal ability, quantitative ability, and GK. Mr. Photo Maker, you can ask me a question in Hindi. I can try to, I will answer that in Hindi as well. But since we have so many people watching us throughout the country where a lot of people don't understand Hindi, that's exactly why I try to use a common language English, which is understood by everyone. If you want to ask me something in Hindi, I'll be very happy to answer that in Hindi as well. I hope I make sense, Photo Maker. Yeah. So, we have 3 sections here in the SET-BBA examination. We have verbal ability, quantitative ability, and GK. So GK roughly comes up in the CUET examination. It also comes up in your CUET Christ University examination as well as your SET-BBA examination. The remaining 12 questions are for LR, and all of these sections, the verbal ability, QA, and GK give you 16 questions. And the level of difficulty is a notch easier than the NPAT examination that you see. So this was our last examination, as we call them, the most important BB entrance examinations that you need to sit for if you're preparing for the 2023 examinations. Did you understand the comparison between these examinations? If you understood their score structure, the examination structure, and if you understood what I was trying to explain, make sure you like the session. Do not leave the session without liking it. Okay, Richa, we are soon starting the verbal ability classes, probably August onwards, because right now a lot of kids are still figuring out the CUET examination. Their turn hasn't come, so I'm just waiting for these examinations to be over, and then we'll be targeting the verbal ability section for 2023 examinations. So we'll start these topics in the month of August. Till then, I'll be telling you about these examinations and make you understand how you need to prepare amply for them. So I hope, oh yes, of course, I forgot the GGS IPU examination as well. So we have Indraprastha University, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, and this university also, that's established in Delhi, also gives you an opportunity to get through their college and then pursue a BBA degree. So there's another examination that I'm so sorry I missed out discussing this. So you have the GGS IPU, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University in Delhi, and there's common entrance test is called CET-BBA. You have verbal ability, logical reasoning, and GK. Plus, you have the management aptitude and communication skills also asked. Did you notice something? The set of examinations here, the 100 questions, they do not comprise of any quantitative ability question. None of them. None of the quantitative ability questions come usually in the GGS IPU examination. So if you wish to get into the Indraprastha University of Delhi, this is the examination that you need to sit for to pursue a BBA degree in their campus, in their affiliated colleges. There are many affiliated colleges that IPU has in Delhi. So these were the common examinations. We talked about the Central University CUET. We talked about the various IPMAT examinations, Indore, Rohtak, and JIPMAT, like the joint venture between Bodh Gaya and Jammu. And then we spoke about the SET and the NIMS examination. And then we spoke about the SET examination. And then we spoke about the GGS IPU examination. I hope all these examinations, you understand the difference between them. And I hope you understand what all examinations you need to target if you wish to pursue a BBA degree from a very prestigious college in our country. Thank you so much, everyone. Make sure you download our app on Google Play. There are many sessions and videos that are coming up on our app. Make sure you download them and subscribe to our channel. Comment under my video if you're watching it recorded later on. Comment under my video if you have any doubts. If you appreciate the video, make sure you comment under that. Share the video with everyone, and please don't forget to like the session as well. Thank you so much, everybody. Okay, Ma'am, will the classes be taken on this YT channel? Yes, Manisha, I will be taking classes on this YT channel as well. Along with the other YT channels I take classes on of BYJU'S Exam Prep, like CLAT and CAT as well. So I'll be taking classes here as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a very, very good day and God bless you.